Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J Dawg.
Mike, it's good to see you. Listen, breaking news to start the show.
Whoa.
We just moved up a level on the all-time podcast rankings. JJ Redick is done podcasting. He's out. Him and LeBron are done, Mike. The Sports Hangover is now going to take their place on top of all the lists.
Jeremy, we have been talking about this for, I don't know how long. It seems like months, but it could have been just weeks. I don't know how long this has been going on for.
That's how long the NBA playoffs are, so I think you're right. It's like a 3-month playoffs. Finally over.
I saw his press conference, and he's like, yeah, we're going to stop podcasting. I know I've never coached before. It still doesn't make sense. He's like a great speaker. Like his press interview was great. I liked everything he said because it's like, yeah, that all makes sense. You've never coached. You used to coach elementary school or middle school? Now you're here coaching LeBron.
That was his last coaching job. It's on the resume I saw earlier this morning. It's elementary school to the Lakers, which the Lakers can't be happy about that becoming like a meme going forward.
No, but I don't know truly what's going to happen this season. I'm very excited for it. It could be a mess or it could be great. But yeah, he's not podcasting anymore, so hopefully we can jump up in the sports rankings.
It's definitely a get your popcorn ready season for the Lakers because it could be terrible, and that's very watchable. It could be great, and that's like, oh my God, this guy's going to actually coach well after no coaching experience. So either way, it's going to be entertaining. We know LeBron's calling the shots. We're going to talk about Bronny James in a second here. JJ Redick, of course, he sounded great in the press conference. This is his moment to be his best as a speaker. It's going to go all downhill after the press conference. This was his one time to make a statement. We watched it earlier out here. Local LA news is all over it. But like you said, he's like well-spoken and polished. It doesn't mean he has an explanation for why he's going to succeed when he has zero experience other than relationships, other than I know ball, other than I grew up at Duke from Coach K. Like, okay, those are all real things, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach of the Lakers.
Did you see where he used during the press conference? He's like, me and LeBron never spoke about this. 30 minutes after I got hired, we talked about it. It's like, that's
which is such bullshit. They have a podcast. Me and you talk about many things other than the podcast. You know, they're talking all week leading up to, during, after the whole thing.
We talk before the podcast too. It's not just like the podcast starts and we're recording, but it's kind of weird. He must be lying about that a little bit. I do like the idea though that there's low expectations. There's no expectation except for you're going to fail.
There's not low expectations with the Lakers. LeBron has like 1 to 2 years left. The idea that he's just going to phone this year in? No way. They need to be better than they were this past year, or else this franchise will come crashing down on JJ because he can be worse than Darvin Ham if they don't at least make the playoffs.
Yeah, but don't you think it's like I don't know. I feel, by the way, I'm recording on in the new studio. I'm on a sofa. I feel so relaxed. I feel like I'm talking to you just like we're at a bar or something right now. It's really nice. I feel super relaxed.
Funny you say that, by the way. Me and you got in trouble at a bar last year because we were talking too loud about our sports takes. We actually were told to be quiet at a bar, so you reminded me of that moment.
I like the idea that there are no expectations for JJ. JJ can fail, and it's like we can blame everything on JJ. LeBron has a bad season, blame it on JJ. JJ is the scapegoat on the Lakers, and it's perfect. I know JJ's talking about like, oh, we're really going to use Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves and LeBron, really going to get him going. I think it's all a lie, and it's an easy way out, so I'm excited to see what happens this season. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I got the Kings tickets. So I got the tickets.
You purchased
the season
them?
Tickets. Yeah,
Mike.
I know.
You were on the fence last time we talked about it.
I was on the fence. We talked about it a little bit over dinner, and I'm like, you know what? I can sell half of them and go. I mean, it's a lot of games. But I'm excited. I've never had like tickets where it's like, okay, you have to go on, and they're all weekend games. I'm excited about it. So
you just pick and choose which friend you bring to each one, and that's how it goes. Like podcast co-host first, and then we fall in line.
Yeah. It's just like you buy me a beer, we go to the game. That's all I need because it gets
cheaper
expensive
than a
there.
ticket.
Yeah,
it does. And you're in the lower level where hockey's great. We'll get to some NHL talk, some Game 7. Continuing on the Lakers for now, because you did not get Lakers season tickets. I would have thought the price would be more affordable after an inexperienced head coach joins the franchise.
I didn't even look at Lakers tickets, but
I feel like they're on sale today, Mike. No one's happy about the JJ Redick thing inside Lakers fan base. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, listen, are we really NBA fans or Laker fans? We're here in LA. No. I don't really see that many.
We're fans of drama. We're here for the drama that you bring to us.
But we don't see a lot of. I don't see daily Laker gear walking around. I see a lot more Dodger gear because I'm in Dodger town. Like I'm in Dodger Stadium, basically.
You live at the base of Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. There are a lot of Dodger gear out here. Rarely ever see Lakers stuff. So we'll see how the season goes. But we're going this year. I'm dedicated to one Laker game, one Clipper game, and Ram Charger. Swap them out, whichever one. One each.
Big event year, all in the fall coming up here at the end of the year. I'm excited for the Clippers. We're not talking about the Clippers for very long, but they have a new stadium on my side of town, the west side. Yeah. So you get to come over here for once for an event.
You're not the west side, and that's not the west side either. It does not cross the 405.
Inglewood's not next to the west side. No. On our Lakers discussion, we got to talk about Bronny. It's the NBA draft this week. Of course, Mike, we've been crunching the numbers on the top picks in the draft. I know you're going to reveal like your top 5 picks of this draft today, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Doing this research late at night with your son?
I cannot listen, Jeremy. You know my late night research is you're seeing conspiracy theories of large. I don't know if you clicked on the one I sent you today. Large conspiracy theories of there's a giant dragon moving in the ocean. That's what I sent you this morning. So no
careful.
NBA.
Don't lose credibility with our listeners yet, Mike.
No,
but I mentioned Bronny James and how you don't know who's in the top 5 of the draft. I don't know. The reason is because no one talks about it. No, I have no idea. I can't name one person in this draft other than Bronny James because ESPN won't feed that information to us. These people are just like us, so I'm going to follow in their footsteps. Okay. All they're talking about is the Lakers and JJ and Bronny. So that's what we're doing. We're playing the hits. I have a bullshit or believe on Bronny James NBA draft. I have a few questions for you. Are you ready to play?
I am ready to play, but can I throw out? Did you hear Bill Simmons' theory? What the Celtics should do? Okay, let me throw this out real quick. Bill Simmons on his podcast went through like all these scenarios, and the one that he liked was Celtics draft before the Lakers. The Celtics can basically hold Bronny hostage and get picks or LeBron or bring LeBron there for holding Bronny hostage. Basically, Bronny is a LeBron mover. You move where LeBron moves because Bronny's going to be there. So that was like his idea. Hold Bronny hostage. So the
idea is the Celtics also sign LeBron if they draft Bronny? Is that what Mr. Celtics superfan is saying?
It could work out that way, but I think it's more like you hold him hostage, get some picks, get something for him more than what you would do in the draft. Basically.
I like that theory. That will come up in Bullshit or Believe, by the way. Right, so let's start here at the very top.
Okay.
Bronny James will be drafted during the NBA draft this week. There's 2 rounds of the draft. There's not 7 like there is for the NFL. Only 2. Every team only has 2 picks. Lakers have a first and a second. Celtics have first and a second. Bullshit or believe, Bronny gets drafted in the draft. Because just to back up for a second, people know me and you don't believe in Bronny James. He is short. He doesn't score. He actually averaged less points in college than Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan, who did not play in the NBA, who I think is a reality show star on something right now, dating Scottie Pippen's wife. That's the direction Marcus Jordan went down. Hopefully, Bronny James has a better career than him, but I'm telling you it's going to be very similar is my take on it.
I'm going to say he's getting drafted. This man's getting drafted somewhere. I think just the hype around him, if you're a small market team and you want to bring in some people, Bronny's a good way. I mean, look at Orlando. Orlando always gets guys that are supposed to be good, and then they're never good in Orlando, and then they move on somewhere else, and they're better. So I don't know. It's kind of sad for Orlando because Orlando gets nothing.
Orlando made the playoffs this year. I know it was like 12 years without the playoffs, but the Magic did make the playoffs this year. And I think getting a player who's not good at basketball would not help the Magic. I wouldn't recommend that.
Did the Magic, when we were in college at UCF, did the Magic not go to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs one year when we were there?
They did with Dwight Howard. They played the Lakers in the NBA Finals, and the Lakers, I think, swept them or won 4 out of 5. It wasn't a great series. But me and mutual friend actually went to several Magic playoff games that year. I don't know. You were too busy in your studying at UCF to come out for a weeknight game, but we went to a few games. We had some great tailgates. We influenced some plays on the court. I may have heckled Kevin Garnett to his face at one point. Those things happen. I don't know how you got us on the Orlando Magic. We don't want Bronny James there.
Bronny will get drafted. So I believe Bronny will be drafted. We're back to that.
I agree with you. I believe it. The fact that it's a question means he's not very good. Okay, number 2.
Correct.
The Lakers should take Bronny in the first round to make sure the theory that you shared, that another team drafts him in the second round, doesn't happen. So bullshit or believe, Lakers should take Bronny in the first round.
So the draft is next week, right?
This week.
This
Days
week?
Away. This is our last pod before the draft. This is our draft preview.
Big.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, we know a lot. Can't name the top 5 guys in the draft. I think the reason why we can't name anybody, right? We don't know anybody. I can't name you top 10, top 20. Honestly, I feel like these draft picks do not matter at all this year. They're definitely going to take them first round. Somebody's taking them first round because of LeBron.
First round. You're saying the Lakers. You're saying believe the Lakers should take him first round.
LeBron can opt out of his deal, and I've read that he will lose some money if he does this. But if he opts out,
but wait, his podcast co-host is his new head coach. He's not going anywhere. Isn't that the leverage play? Isn't that why the Lakers did this?
I don't know. It's a mess
Nothing
over
makes
there.
sense, I know.
I don't know what's going on. I do think with LeBron there, and I think he'll decide either after or before and see how the draft plays out. But he could opt out and go somewhere else. It seems like there's a lot of free agents this year. We'll see where they all end up. I know Clay's available. I know Paul George is available. Those are the guys I know that are available. So we'll see what the Lakers look like. But Bronny most likely will end up a Laker. If I could bet on it, which I probably can, I'm going to go put money on it.
You probably can, and it's probably very corrupted because like the Lakers franchise knows what they're doing and not everyone else does. Mike, you bring the best theories to this podcast. The idea that LeBron would still opt out and leave after they just hire his best friend forever, JJ Redick, to be the head coach. I'm here for that. If you're talking about the Lakers screwing this up even worse, how bad will they look for hiring JJ if it looks like JJ is like a reason for LeBron to leave? I know it could be the Bronny James draft stuff, but I just love the idea of LeBron maybe not returning to the Lakers. I thought it was kind of like sealed and signed, even if it's not really, because of the Redick hiring.
Well, I don't know if you've been seeing Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, throwing a lot of stuff out there, and it keeps changing weekly on what is going to be happening. It's like, even if Bronny's drafted, we're not guaranteed he's going to be there. Bronny's not taking offers to other teams. He doesn't want to go there. And then they're like, well, it'd be really nice if they played together. I think it's just all smoke and mirrors trying to get him the most amount of money. So if the Lakers are willing to pay, then they'll end up there. What else?
Like one thing that has not changed is Bronny James's height. He's still short. He's actually still short. That has not changed during the pre-draft process. I think the Lakers should not take him in the first round. If they take him in the first round, it's another red flag that this franchise is being run secretly or even not so secretly by LeBron. And if we're not going to credit him with being the GM and head coach, he probably shouldn't be making those decisions. Okay, my last one for you. Oh, two more. A team ahead of the Lakers in the second round takes Bronny. Bullshit or believe. It's your theory. It was on my list coming to life. I'll start with this. I say bullshit. I think the NBA teams, they can get leverage by taking Bronny, but they know he's such a terrible player. No one will actually give up the opportunity of getting a real contributor to their team and taking Bronny for leverage. What if the Lakers don't actually want him and they're stuck with them? So I'm saying no one takes him. It's bullshit on that one.
How about this? I don't know. Here's a fun theory. I don't even know if this is out there. What if the Lakers are the Clippers are drafting before the Lakers? I'm sure they're not as good as the Lakers. If they're drafting before, Steve Ballmer's got a brand new arena to fill. What if Bronny came over to the Clippers, and that then means LeBron can opt out of his deal and come over to the Clippers and still be in LA? Still be a LA. You don't have to move. Nothing happens. You're just on a new team, new stadium. This would be the biggest move for Steve Ballmer if he's in there. He's like, draft Bronny at any cost, trade up, go get him. I think it would be a genius move, and a lot of teams would do that. So I think Clippers would be. That's a great one. I just came up with that.
That is a great one. That's just petty enough where LeBron can stay in his same house over here in the Hollywood Hills and still play for the the Clippers brand new stadium like we talked about opening this year. I actually love the pettiness of that one. Here's my final bullshit or believe on Bronny James.
Okay.
Here's the statement. Bullshit or believe, Bronny James is a total bust who contributes to the Lakers' 2024-2025 season downfall. That means Redick is fired after year one and LeBron leaves after the season, and Bronny's a part of it. Bullshit or
So what is a failure sub 500? Is that what we're saying?
Not making the playoffs, because Darvin Ham could do it with a shitty roster. So that's kind of the line. The in-season or the play-in tournament is what they made. That's the line. If they don't make it that far, failure.
And then what if they win the in-season tournament? We know that's a big one this year. They won it last year.
They'll hang another banner, and they'll be tired for the real playoffs. Yeah.
I'm going to say no. They're not going to fire anybody if this year's a failure, because I think they have to get something. They have to get something ready, a contingency plan for when LeBron leaves. LeBron, he's as old as I am, and I'm feeling old. I don't look like LeBron. I'm not in shape like LeBron, but he's got maybe 2-3 years left in him. He could opt out this year. I think this is if you mess up this year, LeBron definitely leaves next year, but I don't think JJ's gone.
But imagine that. Bronny gets drafted by the Lakers. They have a terrible year. LeBron leaves, and it's like, damn, you signed a 4-year deal. Bronny, you got to stay and play with this shitty team. It's all so bizarre. We're going to get a lot of answers on Thursday night, and it's going to be wild either way.
How many? I don't think there's been many players that have played like LeBron. How many sons have played with their father in the NBA? I think it's been zero, right?
It's probably not zero.
I mean, LeBron's been playing since he was 18. This man is almost 40 now. I don't know. It seems kind of like a stretch. Like there's some guys LeBron has played with fathers and sons after their sons came into the NBA.
But you're saying like together at the same time and maybe even the same team.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't know if it has for sure. But my last point on that is, yes, Bronny James will be part of the reason he tanks the Lakers season coming up, and it's because they draft him instead of a real player in the second round.
I have. Did you want to talk Stephen A. real quick? I got a little something on Stephen A.
Did you know Kobe's Bryant and Joe played in the NBA? Not together, but I just found that on the Google
I didn't know that.
Joe Bryant.
Good search. Anyway. Stephen A. is looking for $25 million from ESPN, and I think they're going to give it to him. Is broadcast TV and ESPN and doing all this, is Stephen A. the face? If he gets paid this much money, is he the face of ESPN after this payment?
He's the latest face. One thing we know is it's always changing. It's always cyclical. Yeah. Troy Aikman will want $30 million after Stephen A. gets 25. The numbers will keep going up, and if you're a future talent, you should want these numbers to keep rising.
Sure.
I don't know, Mike. Are producer numbers going to ever get this high? It feels like they're not.
I feel like they're not. They don't love behind the camera as much as in front of the camera.
So weird, right? Isn't one producer worth $18 million? No, the answer is no. Stephen A. is driving that much revenue. I do wonder, like, he's not going to stay on a show like First Take without his name on it. He's not going to allow ESPN to make money off his show. Like Pat McAfee owns his own show. In this new arrangement, I assume Stephen A. will own the show he's on, the Stephen A. show or whatever it is, sell his own advertising. Maybe his production company makes it so he can keep that in-house. And he wants to be paid more than McAfee. McAfee's numbers are around 15 to 18 million, I think. And so the first offer of 18 million is what ESPN offered. Yep. He's going to decline that, and that's the negotiations. You're reading he wants 25 million. Yeah. I think ESPN will go to 25. My prediction from Sports Stradamus from last offseason, last end of the year, is he's going to leave and do his own thing without ESPN because he'll be able to figure out that he can make more doing it himself, doing all his own YouTube stuff, selling it, than staying with ESPN. He has got kind of a crazy schedule. He's got to do all the NBA pre- and post-game show. He's up early in the morning.
He does radio.
He's on at night. Like radio, exactly. You would think maybe he could do less, but make more if he's not working for the machine that ESPN is.
Yeah, but I think it would be a big hit for ESPN. I don't think a lot of people watch it. I think Stephen A. is really good for clips. Like I see a lot of clips of him online.
First Take does well. More people watch it than Pat McAfee's show. More people watch it than Mike Greenberg's Get Up or whatever that means. More people watch it than ever before. It's like having the highest ratings ever in a world of linear TV decline. And I think that's why ESPN is so willing to pay him so much when it sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, because it seems like everybody, like broadcast cable's kind of going the way, like disappearing. They're trying to go over the air to like streaming services, and no one's going to be getting paid as much. But if Stephen A. gets this, I guess it's good. But I feel like that then limits the other new talent they bring in.
Yeah, because you got to stay. Well, they won't have much money left, right? On one hand, and then you got to stay under Stephen A.'s number unless you're going to be bigger than Stephen A. My question is he even worth that much to ESPN? Are people still going to watch? Is he worth $25 million? You could have a certain amount of live sports for $25 million also. So like, what are you giving up here? The budgets aren't nearly the same. I don't know if he's worth it.
I don't think so either. Do you want to talk NHL real quick? We're recording about 2 hours before the puck drops tonight. Stanley Cup Game 7. It's back in Florida. Are you watching tonight?
I have to run some errands after the show. I will watch the third period and maybe part of the second is my goal. So I hope it's close heading into the third. I want to hear your prediction. It'll be old by the time the pod comes out, but you're our hockey guy. What do you think happens? Does it go to like overtime? Has overtime ever happened in Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final? Because that would be like cherry on top.
Well, last week I predicted that the Mavs would win a game, and they did not. And they got swept by Boston Celtics. Not swept. They won one game. Then I also said Panthers would win the game, and they didn't win the game. I have money on the Panthers, but as I was trying to describe to you over the weekend, Connor McDavid is probably one of the greatest players to play hockey in a very, very long time. So it'd be great for him and great for hockey fans to see him win because this is the biggest comeback ever. There's been 3 other teams that have ever come back from down 3 games and came back to push a Game 7. This is crazy. I don't know if The goalie, Bob, is breaking down on the Panthers team, but something's going on. Mentally, the Panthers don't look like the same team. I would hope the Panthers can win it. I think this is their second time in a row being back at the Stanley Cup. I don't know. It's a big... Either way, it's like the greatest achievement ever coming back down from that deficit. And then you look at the Panthers, it's like they're kind of comparing it to like when Atlanta lost the 28-3 game, like when Tom Brady came back.
The biggest choke ever.
Yeah, so it could be a huge choke game. Like, but this is a huge game. Panthers had so much cushion, and then this cushion is gone. The Oilers are hot. They're ready. The fan base is wild. Everybody wants the Oilers to win, it seems like. But yeah, it's going to be a great game. I'm really excited. I'm getting ready for it.
How do the Panthers how do you mentally enter Game 7 and play your best when you have this whole choke lay on your back? Like, it's all you can think about. It's like, I'm choking. It's like they're mid-choke, but the choke is delayed, and they have to fly back and forth from Vancouver to Florida, like, throughout the choke. And, like, the choke has been happening for days and days, and now it's, like, ending. And, like, I don't know how they get the mental strength, let alone the physical strength, after all these games and all these flights to, like, beat Vancouver when Vancouver or Edmonton has all the advantages.
Well, tonight's a weird game. Tonight you could see maybe a different lineup come in for the Panthers. I don't want to blame it all on the goalie. I don't know how to say his full last name, but I just call him Bob. It's Bobrovsky or something like that. But goalies in general are mental cases. They are all over the place. If you talk to a goalie, they have different tics. They like touching something a few times. They squirt water a certain amount of time into their mouth. They're insane. And once a goalie gets something wrong with him, gets pulled in a game like he did in Game 3 or 4, that is it. I think it was Game 4. That's it. That man might have lost that what he had in the first 3 games.
Has he been the goalie since, or did he get pulled and never came back?
He got pulled and then was back for Game 5. And then they lost again. And I don't want to put the full blame on him, but I will say that it does come down to the goalie a lot, and I know the Panthers need to score some more goals, but I'm going to start with the goalie and then also the players, but this is a big game. All the momentum's on the Oilers side. This is like one of the biggest Game 7s in a long time, I think, because usually it's like back and forth, like you win one, I win one, we go back. This has been insane. I couldn't even predict it. I thought this was done 2 weeks ago.
It also hasn't been many good games lately, right? Since the Panthers went up 3-0, haven't the Oilers blown them out in basically every game? Like, we were watching Game 6, 3-0 in the third. Like, that's kind of a blowout, right?
Yeah, but like the last game, there was 2 empty net goals. Like, what are you going to do? Like, the score looks more inflated than it really is.
It was 3-0 before that. I'm just wondering, will it even be close? Because, like, if you get a close Game 7 and a potential of a 1-goal game or an overtime in that Game 7, you're talking about like best hockey series ever, like in the running, best hockey Game 7 ever, like all that's in play tonight. If the Panthers can show up and even make it a game, I know we're talking about it like it's happening, and our listeners have already know what happened.
Yeah, they already know.
I just think it's going to be really hard for the Panthers mentally or physically to get up for this game. And I'm a South Florida boy, I told you this, but the South Florida community doesn't really care versus the entire country of Canada caring so much. I think that also might have something to do with it. Maybe it'd be better if it was like in Edmonton, so like the Panthers were more fired up. I know they're going to have their home fans, but I think the apathy might already be setting in.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I know the game already happened. People are listening to this. We're going to post it right before the
I'm sure the Panthers won and we're both wrong. But hey, we both are taking Edmonton to win this game.
No, I'm taking Florida.
Just because you have a prior bet on Florida.
Prior bet.
Not because you really think that.
I'm going to hedge tonight. I'm going to bet Oilers just to get my money back. So I'll break even tonight. Because who knows what could happen.
Well, thankfully the NHL season will be over. It'll join the NBA. This time the Stanley Cup Finals were much better than the NBA Finals. The NBA season really puttered out there at the end. No one cares about Boston. No one cares about Tatum and those guys. No one cares about their duck boat parade. Pardon my take, guy shaving his head. No one cares about any of that. Let's take us.
Did you see all the Tatum stuff? Did you see all the stuff where he's like trying to mimic like Kobe and all these other people and like he's not a genuine guy, and you see him like posing like Kobe with the trophy. It's kind of silly.
I don't do Eastern Conference basketball. I'll come back for the West next year, but not the East. Okay. It's not for me.
That's all I got. By the way, 4th of July is right around the corner. We do have our USA Sports Hangover swag up on the sportshangover.com. Go get that. Go subscribe. You got to subscribe. Subscribe somewhere. TikTok or YouTube. we're really grooving on YouTube right now. We're a lot of video content, a lot of graphics, a lot of stuff going on. Olympics are coming up. Maybe we'll do some Olympic stuff too. Maybe some gambling on Olympics.
You've invested so much in your podcast studio. People need to know for the video and the audio, you just are in a better spot than ever. You pumped a lot of money into it for the Sports Hangover side. So we thank you for that. That's showing the investment that we're making in our listeners. Additionally, you mentioned all that USA swag. Our Olympics are coming, and what a 1-2 punch. July 4th, straight into Olympics to wear your USA TSH swag. I love the idea of getting that now here at the end of June and getting ready for both events.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something else, but I totally forgot. So
your investment in the pod?
Oh, I was going to say, once you move, and you're moving soon, we're going to set up a nice little corner for you for your new studio.
You don't like this corner with Brace and DeChambeau?
No, I like that corner. But you saw my my upgrades, my teleprompter. Yeah.
You have a lot going on, a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
I'll get a second bedroom for that.
Good. Yeah, you need another bedroom for it. That's it. Good show.
All right.